Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. It's the match preview which nobody wants to miss. It's that match preview which you just can't miss. It's a pre-derby match preview. We've already done one because we've already done this match preview. But it's always special because it's always a special game. It's always a game which everybody wants to play and a game which nobody wants to lose in terms of the players who are going to step upon that pitch, the managers who are going to be next to their players, and most importantly, the fans. The fans don't want to lose this. And just as always, the derby nausea is kicking in. It's kicking in. What can we say? It's kicking in. It's always like this. It's that terrible nausea that you get before these games. That's why tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone with this. Flavor is lemongrass, citrus, and ginger. Drink this. That's hot, but it's good. It will calm us down a bit. Right. Let's speak about today's game. Tomorrow's game, I should say. It's a Coppa Italia quarterfinal. It's a game which whoever wins goes and play against the winning side between Juventus and Frosinone. And whoever then wins that game reaches the final. So winning this game means getting closer to that final. That's exactly why, yes, this game isn't a massively important derby. There have been far more important derbies than this, and the relative importance of previous derbies has a lot of derbies have been definitely more important than this in terms of both teams trying to get top four, both teams competing with each other in massive games. This game is a derby, and it will remain. The importance is massive because it's the derby. But yeah, it's probably less important than if this game was a game which would decide either of the two teams qualifying for the Champions League. It's a tournament that, yes, everybody wants to win because it's always a way to lift the trophy. And winning this game means getting closer to that final. You just need to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself. We might be lifting this trophy this season. It might not be our objective to win the Coppa Italia, but we might lift this trophy. And then you look at the season and you go, well, at the end of the day, I lifted a trophy. So it could become a quite successful season if we don't snub this tournament away. And we play well, concentrate, don't snub it like we were about to do with Cremonese or like we did with Cremonese last season. Play, because winning this game means qualifying for a semi-final. Yes, the semi-final will most probably be against Juventus, but it's a home and away. Anything can happen. So, yeah, my advice as any game is obviously eat them up because we hate them, destroy them, break their legs, break their thumbs, their nails, their teeth. But other than that, on a football note, don't snub this game because, number one, it's a derby. And losing a derby is always a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass because you lose a big game. It's a pain in the ass because the post-derby vibes are never good if you lose it because the fans are always pissed after you lose a derby. So a lot of fans are going to turn against the team if you lose a derby. And third of all, it's never good losing a derby because the other side will mock the other side. So yeah, look, we've gone through a lot of derbies together, so I don't want to talk about what a derby means to this city, what a derby means to these fans. I've said this many times. I've filmed vlogs about the derby. The last one was a couple of months ago. A derby is the most important game of the season for both Roma and Lazio. No matter the circumstances, no matter if it's a League Cup final, no matter if it's a useless derby, it's about supremacy. It's about showing the other side of Rome who's bigger. It's about that reigning power that winning a derby gives you. And ultimately, as fans, winning derbies And this argument can be applied to Lazio fans against us. But winning a derby means that we can mock them, we can throw and lick their balls. So yeah, it's a massive game. I mean, the rivalry is big. You all know about the rivalry. Both share the city of Rome. It's about getting the access to the keys of this city. It's been quite the event, the fixture. It's been quite a dangerous fixture in these past seasons. It's one of the most dangerous derbies in Europe, I should say, following all of those, Eastern European derbies and Old Firm in Scotland. It's definitely up there as a big derby, as a heated one, as a derby which, you're going to be careful if you're heading to the stadium. Unfortunately, I'm going to sit this one off. I've mentioned this already. I'm not going to the stadium tomorrow. I was at the stadium in November when the game ended 0-0. I was at the stadium on both occasions last season when we lost both games. So yeah, I won't be there tomorrow, but we will do a watch along. So everybody, set a reminder right now, because it's been a while since we did the Derby live watch along. In fact, the last time we did a Derby live watch along together was in my first season on YouTube. That was ages ago. So yeah, pre-Derby vibes and Derby vibes all together. Set reminder tomorrow and don't miss it. Speaking about us and then speaking about them. In fact, I want to start with them so we can get the blue and white away from us. Them. Now, this game, I expect, as a Roma fan, I expect a Lazio side which will play even more willing than back in November, even more determined than a usual derby. Why am I saying this? Number one, because Lazio is climbing positions. They are coming from 3 consecutive league wins. They've obviously qualified for the Champions League round of 16. So it could be said that Lazio's coming towards this derby on a better form than us. They're 1 point ahead of us and all of that. So number one, I expected a Lazio, again, they're playing at home, so the 80%, 70% of the stadium is going to be blue and white tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's going to be bleached to our eyes, but we got to deal with it because last season they qualified before us in the league, so they have the right to play this game at home. But the reason why I expect a determined Lazio side, and I expect a determined Lazio fan base, is because today, the 9th of January, is Lazio's 124th anniversary. It's their birthday today. And the derby is the day after their birthday, in this occasion. I expect, and I hope this doesn't happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen because they're not even able to fill out this entire stadium, but I expect banners, tifos, all about this event for Lazio. I expect the players, a lot of fans, Lazio fans were present in today's Lazio's training session to share and happy birthday and all of that, to incite the team for the derby. It's their anniversary today, and the derby's coming the day after, so I expect a united Lazio group. I am scared, but again, it's normal. It's a derby, it's a derby. You gotta be, as I said, herbal tea night. Today it's all about the herbal teas. You gotta calm those kidneys, those liver, because otherwise they're gonna fail. But yeah, good. That was about. You get the point. In terms of injuries, Lazio have a few players who missed today's training session. Zaccagni got injured in that Udinese game and he's questionable for this game. Isaksen is questionable for tomorrow's game. Apparently even Provedel is questionable because he has a fever. Feels like Provedel has a fever every time he plays a derby. I think it's mind games. Provedel, I expect him on the pitch tomorrow. I don't expect Zaccagni and Isaksen on the pitch. Luis Alberto is back training with the group. I believe Immobile is also back training with the group. In terms of players who I would keep aside and be careful, Zaccagni if he plays, Luis Alberto if he plays, Pedro, that little dickhead of a rat, Pedro always turns up against us. Same with Felipe Anderson. And as far as I remember, the last derby we played against them, Guendouzi didn't have a bad game. Rovella's living a good moment of form. Their defense isn't massive. Romagnoli's back playing. Again, they're not a bad side, but it's just disgusting to see. So yeah, and they obviously do have Castellanos. By the way, can I just say something about that Castellanos guy? That guy scored a goal against Frosinone. I open Instagram and the first image I see is Castellanos doing Dybala's celebration. Piss off. Who even are you? Like, who has invited you to the party? No one cares about you. Nobody even knows who you are. Don't even try scoring a goal and hitting Dybala's celebration. That's his trademark. If Castellanos scores tomorrow and he hits Dybala's celebration in front of him, I am gonna go mentally insane. Don't let that guy score. And I'm worried because our defense is inexistent at time of speaking. It's extremely weak. So we've got to be careful. Speaking about us, I expect everyone on the pitch. I'm reading, and as much as I'm aware, as far as I'm aware, I've been told that Pellegrini had some checkups. He had some checkups for his back because he had that tackle against Scalvini in that Atalanta game, and apparently he's questionable for tomorrow's game. In terms of other players who are questionable, Llorente's questionable. Llorente did come from an injury against Atalanta, but he did the scan today, and apparently it's nothing major. I have to be honest, I don't expect Llorente starting. And then obviously it's a manager derby. It's Sarri against Jose. The two love the beef. The two love the smoke. The two, not in that sense. They love smoking about each other. They love they love beefing. That's what a derby's about. So I'm not surprised. Apparently none of the two are going to speak in a press conference. I think that's tactical. But yeah. They don't stand each other, so it's going to be a feisty game on the stands, on the pitch, and on the sidelines between Jose and Maurizio, who is kind of a human mucus. I've seen Sarri spit mucus out of his nose more than what? More than Mourinho getting red cards, if that makes sense. And Ndika's obviously not there. But it's time to unveil the predicted 11. It's a delicate one because our defense doesn't look good. But this is it. So, being a Coppa Italia game, I think Svilar is going to start this one. I think he should start. I think it's time for Svilar to start some big games. You know, a derby is a game where form goes out of the window. I say this every time. Form goes out of the window. Pressure is maximized. The slightest mistake can cost us points, and in this game can cost us a tournament. Ibanez knows something about that. So these players need to be ready. You know, Svilar, it's his first derby. Obviously, he will feel the pressure, but I see a goalkeeper who has matured, who's grabbed the confidence, and I think he's ready. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the last minute, Jose switches back to Rui Patricio, just to avoid any last minute emergency pressure attacks. In defense, I've gone with Mancini. My dream. But again, this is a dream because for it to happen, I think Roma fans are going to go insane. I think if this thing happens, the entire Roma section is going to collapse on the pitch tomorrow. Mancini scoring the winner, injury time, header in front of Lazio's fans. I'm asking too much. I'm not even gonna say this because I'm asking too much, and I know this. But Mancini, he loves that spice. You know, there are a few players in our team which love that spice. Mancini, Paredes. They're red cards risk because they love that. They love to spice things up. That's who they are. And in these games, they've got all the rights to do so because they are big games. So Mancini, Huijsen, and Cristante in defence. Start Huijsen. Played phenomenally. It looks to me as if he's somebody with a great personality, doesn't feel the pressure. He's very precise with that ball. So start him, and I am confident that he can pull a masterclass. Again, he will feel the pressure. It's normal. It's a big game. He's going to step up tomorrow, and he's going to see those Lazio fans throwing pyros on the pitch against Roma fans. He's going to hear Lazio fans going Roma merda, Roma merda, Roma merda. He's going to hear Roma fans going to go kill them, kill them. That's what derby's about. So he is going to feel that pressure. He's my age. Imagine playing a Rome derby 1 week after you arrive in Rome in a new team, new atmosphere. And he's my age. It's normal. It's nature. So I'm expecting him to be, curious about what to expect. But at the same time, I think he's ready. I think he's ready to do it. He's coming from a great team. Juventus know what to do with their young talents, and you can clearly see this. He knows what to do with that ball. He's got an idea on how to play, and hopefully, it can go well. Cristante again in defense. If the only way to see Cristante in the midfield is if Christensen drops in defense, but again, I would avoid unnecessary risks. So Cristante in defense. 4 midfielders. Christensen, who's played well and who's playing well recently. Zalewski, again, is still a liability. But who does he have to mark? That side is Felipe Anderson's side. Hopefully he's... hopefully he's improved. Again, I'm asking too much. If I'm wishful to see Zalewski cross the ball and defend, but he's definitely better than Spina recently. We could see Celik on that side, but I think it's going to be Zalewski. Bove needs to start. Paredes, the reason why Paredes is going to start is because in these games you need somebody who can control the aggressiveness whilst showing the aggressiveness using experience. In the derby against November, Guendouzi and Paredes were about to knock each other's bows out. I expect this again. I expect the rivalries that were kind of planted in November, I expect them to return in this game. So it's going to be a big fight between Guendouzi and Paredes. And I expect them on the pitch. Up front, I'm going to change things up. Because I don't think Pellegrini will start, I'm putting Dybala as a creative midfielder with Azmoun and Lukaku up front. If Pellegrini all of a sudden decides to play this game, then Pellegrini is going to play where I put Dybala, and Dybala is going to play up top with Lukaku. But I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be pissed and disappointed if Azmoun starts this game. Imagine if Azmoun scores the winner. He can do it. He's got the talent. Lazio's defense isn't massively impressive. Yes, it's a physical defense, and you need Lukaku to kind of, break shoulders and all of that. And you need support, because if Lukaku doesn't get support, I see another ghost game tomorrow. But Azmoun, I see a great link-up between Azmoun, Dybala and Lukaku. You see, this game is the perfect game where if we had Tammy, Lukaku, Dybala would have all started. This was the perfect game to do so. Because, this time round, yes, we can focus on the defense side, but ultimately we will have to attack because this game can't end as a draw. So, yes, okay, it's understandable for Mourinho, who already loves defensive approaches to these big games, to focus on the defense, who looks very weak and fragile. And it's understandable if in the first half, in the first 60 minutes, the game is 0-0, Jose wants to defend. But ultimately, we will have to attack unless we want to go to penalties. And if there's something that Budapest taught us, is that penalties is a gamble. So yes, okay, it went bad in Budapest. Maybe it can go well tomorrow if it does go to penalties. But penalties isn't football. Penalties is mind games. Penalties is like going to a psychologist and speak about your problems. It's not football. So going to penalties is unpredictable. It's a risk. And imagine if Lazio win on penalties. Like, it would be even worse than Seville beating us on penalties. They already have that memory of them beating us in a Coppa Italia final. If they beat us on penalties, they're going to live with this moment for the next 30 years. All of those kids, all of those Lazio fans' kids are going to have kids in the future. They're going to grow them up with this memory in their mind. Avoid penalties. It would be great to win on penalties, but it would be disastrous and terrible to lose on penalties. And you never know. You don't know how to control penalties. And we know this. We know this. And if you don't know this, then flash back to the 31st of May. So, yes, defend, but we will have to attack because this game can't end as a draw unless we want penalties. With that being said, one last thing, which I'm going to throw on our side. Yes, this is a Roma fan channel, and I tend to look at the advantages that we have over the disadvantages. We do have disadvantages, injuries, maybe the fact that Lazio's coming better, even though form goes out of the window in these games. The one thing that I think we're better at in this type of game than Lazio is mentality. We reached a Europa League final last season by winning key ties, single games, 90-minute all-in or all or nothing games. You know, these direct games is what Mourinho lived for over his entire managerial career. He knows how to prepare the team for these direct games where you will know the outcome of a game in 90 minutes. Direct games. 90 minutes and it's done. One game decides everything. He knows how to prepare the team for this. We reached the Europa League final doing this. We lifted a Conference League trophy doing this. In single ties, when it comes down to the instinct and the moment, rather than a league game which can end as a draw, I think we're better than them. And I think over these past seasons, we've grown a mentality which is better than theirs. Because Mourinho's on that bench and Mourinho lives for these direct single games. With that being said, I mean, what more can you say? Bring it on, as always. Who's scared, don't be scared, because we will be ready for this war. We will be ready for this battle. We will be ready for this. Whenever war calls, we prepare for it. Domani vado allo stadio, domani non vado allo stadio. Sono andato a novembre. Sono andato agli ultimi derby, sono fatti tutti. Domani però non vado perché costavano troppo e sinceramente non volevo dare tutti questi soldi allo tirchio. Quindi no, domani non vado. My Roman Empire is Zale crossing well in training videos but not being able to do in actual matches. I can't believe how his crosses were threatened Poland games. Why can't he do that for Roma? I think Christensen in defense with Mancini central and Hussein on the left with Cristante, Paredes and Bove, Kars up on the right, Zaleski and Dybala, Lukaku. So everything right, but you would switch Christensen in defense. I got you. If full time is over, will it go to penalties? Extra time, then penalties. It's basically a copy of that Budapest game, but in a derby. So again, I really do want to avoid. Another reason why you have to avoid extra time and penalties. Again, yes, it's a derby. You live the derby. You want to win the derby, and however you win the derby. But we got Milan 3 days after, and I don't want the team. Yes, this is a massive game, but Milan game on Sunday is equally as important, and we kind of do need our big players to start that game. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this week. Atalanta's gone. Lazio tomorrow. Milan on Sunday. What do you want more? All together, live these moments. That's what we live for, they said. So yeah, look, I'm ready for this. I'm gonna catch it tomorrow for the live watch along. As I said, set a reminder because I haven't gone live for a derby live watch along since Jose's first season, since my first season on YouTube. It's been a while. We all want to live this derby together. So set a reminder tomorrow, 6 p.m. Italian time, 5 p.m. UK time, wherever you're from. Figure it out. And come back tomorrow because you do not want to miss it. And we can live it all together. Good night, my friends. Sleep tight. Get your herbal teas to calm those livers, lungs, heart, to slow down the blood circulation. It's normal. Derby nausea is normal. And bring it on. I'm ready. Dai Roma, dai! Talk to you soon. Simo.